This video is over 2 months late, so it's about time I posted this. I'm losing track of everything. My phone storage has been perpetually full for a few months, so I should talk about this, right? I'm doing squats. I'm doing a dynamic 5x5, which is something I borrowed from Runner Boy, another guy here on YouTube, and I've been loving it. I haven't done it in a little while. I'm in Bulgaria, guys. This video is 2 months late, okay? I like the dynamic 5x5 though. If you consider a regular 5x5, this means that you have a set weight. We're gonna call that your working weight. And you're gonna do 5 sets of 5 with your working weight. And as you get stronger, you increase that weight, right? Maybe every week you increase it a little bit. Maybe at the beginning of your program, it's actually not super heavy for you, so you have a lot more room to increase that weight as you progress. But that's the gist of it, is you pick one weight, you do 5 sets of 5. The dynamic 5x5 is dynamic, meaning it changes from set to set. I'm not doing the same weight on the first set as I'm doing on the second set or the third set. In fact, I did 205 the first working set, then I did 220, then I did 230, which is the peak. Then I went back down to 210 and I went down to 205 after that. And I don't want anybody telling me oh, you're not pushing hard enough because, okay, I'll tell you when, but very soon, in just a minute, you're gonna see my set with 230 was a grinder. I mean, that set took over a minute. Imagine that, over a minute to do just 5 reps. That's because I'm standing there and trying to recover, trying to catch my breath, trying to get one more rep out. I realized after the 3rd rep, maybe 4 is not going to happen. After the 4th rep, I don't know if 5 is going to happen, but you might as well try. And I ended up getting it. But the moral of the story is I desperately needed this. The gym. I desperately need some sort of foundation to stand on, some sort of structure to my life. And just coming up right now is one set of 5 with 230 pounds, which is going to take me forever. And I don't want you to think I'm super weak, because I could do more than this. It's just at this point, that was, this is just about all I had. But I continued to progress the program, as you're going to see in the coming weeks, as I finish getting these videos out. It's not my best work, but it's work that I put in. And that's what's really important. Sometimes you just got to show up, guys. I started lifting when I was 11 years old. Okay, I'm 26 right now. I started lifting 15 years ago. And when I started lifting, I joined my junior high fitness club. That's how I was introduced to it. My buddy was like, hey, let's join the fitness club. I was like, no way. Then he's like, at the end of the year, there's a pool party and you get pizza. And I was like, I'm signing up today. So I started going to the fitness club. I was going to every single meeting, right? And I say meeting, it was just you show up, you get a sheet from the teacher, and then you write down the exercise you did. There was a pull-up and a chin-up bar, which, I wasn't really doing that, but there were a lot of machines, such as the leg press, the leg extension, hamstring curl. I think they had a seated preacher curl and a seated dip machine. There were exercise bikes. There was a climbing wall. It was actually really great. I just didn't appreciate it so much in the moment. And at that time, I was not trying in anything. Now, to begin with, I was just never very physically gifted. I was never very strong or fast. Running is definitely not my forte. I've had to really push myself to get any good at running, which I'm not. But, school was the opposite. I was always good in school, which is kind of funny, is I never really put effort into either one, but I was always pretty good in school. I'd show up, I'd listen to the teacher, I'd, do some homework, take the tests, get an A, maybe a B if I was sleeping through the class, which I did happen to do a lot of, but which I'll explain. I'll explain why I was sleeping in school. I was good at school, but lifting was not that, and I didn't put effort into either one though. So I hate the fact that I know somebody who loves me is watching this. Forgive me for speaking the truth about myself. This is gonna be kind of gross, but from the ages of like 11 to 22, I was playing video games for like all day and night, and I was looking at dirty websites, jorking it every day. And that was my life. And that's a ton of energy that I wasted. Okay? That's so much wasted energy. I could have put that in the gym. I could have had amazing growth. But instead, I just decided I'm going to play video games all day and I'm going to jork it. And I am going to suffer the consequence of that. And I'm really still kind of suffering the consequences of that. I mean, fortunately, I quit video games like 3 years ago, never really picked them up again. I quit jorking it, less successfully on and off, but I'm not doing that stuff now. I'm not looking at dirty websites. I'm a changed man, all right? So it's not to judge anybody, because still I'll struggle with that. I struggle with lust. I'll see a beautiful lady and I'll think like, wow, I should get married to her, I'm just a man, okay? I'm a man. I have temptations too, and I have proclivities to laziness and lust and blah, blah, blah. That's not what this is about. This is about the fact that I still am barely squatting, 2 plates after lifting for 15 years. And that's because I did not put the commitment in when it needed to be there. And I was not pushing with intensity just up until a few years ago. I mean, the past few years, I've had amazing growth. I mean, consider this. Over 800 leg days in 3 years. How amazing is that? To me, that's like a miracle. Considering who I was before this, that's so amazing. I mean, I put up like over 2,000 videos, fitness-related videos, right? In 2 years or so, 3 years. That's so sweet to me. And it's such an amazing gift that God's given me. Thank you, Lord Jesus Christ. Because alone, I never would have done this, but God took me in his hands and he just carried me through all this. And so I take none of the glory for myself. All the glory be to God. I'm happy, doing the RDLs with 260 pounds. I'm happy doing squats with 230 pounds, doing sets of 5, doing the dynamic 5x5, progressing. I love this stuff, guys. But if you're gonna do it, go all in. Don't go half-assed. Don't do the jork in it. Don't look at your video games or your dirty websites. Do the gym. Have a nice day. Thank you for watching. Bye.